Hey, what's up, Nebraska? Rod here with the NFOA. Happy New Year and welcome to 2019. So it's a new year, and that means the Nebraska Legislature is now in session, competing to see who can impose on your rights the most. And, well, I'll give you an update as to what happened this week when they first convened and the bills that were introduced so far, give you an idea of what to expect throughout the session, and then maybe give you some ideas on some things we can do moving forward. So the legislature is now in session, and we have quite a few new senators. Because of the election in November, quite a few were termed out and new folks ran to take their place, or we had a couple instances where people ran for re-election and did not win their bid. So what's the biggest impact there? Yeah, it remains to be seen, but it seems like we have a lot of anti-liberty folks that are now in session. So we've lost a lot of support for pro-firearms, pro-rights, pro-liberty. And the biggest impact might be within the Judiciary Committee. I'll put down below who the new members are, but highlight on that, we lost Laura Ebke, who was the chairman the last 2 years and actually probably was the most fair and even-handed chairman of the Judiciary Committee in recent years. We also have anti-liberty Stephen Lathrop back in the legislature. He's now the second senator that had been term limited out, sat out of session, and ran and is now back in the legislature. The only one prior to him that I know of would be Ernie Chambers. So, yeah, he's in good company there. And the impact on that is Steve now is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. So don't expect to see any pro-firearms bills get out of that committee, but you can count on any of the negative stuff getting out of committee practically unanimously, I suppose, looking at the makeup of that committee. I don't think there's anybody on that committee that actually supports firearms rights. With the makeup of the new legislature, I do expect to see several anti-gun bills. I don't know how many pro-gun bills will be introduced. Not that it really matters, I suppose, if nothing can get out of committee. Wednesday the 9th was the first day of the legislature. The first 10 days of each session is when new bills can be introduced, but they didn't do that on the first day. I mean, that's more ceremonial, getting everybody sworn in, determining committee assignments and all that fun stuff. So it's Thursday and Friday that we saw new bills be introduced, and they will continue to be introduced for the next 7 session days. Just a quick reminder of how the sessions work. Each session is a 2-year cycle. This is the first year of a 2-year cycle. It's going to last 90 session days. Next year will be 60 session days. And any bills that get introduced and don't die through the process on the first year are still eligible to be heard on the floor for debate the second year. Any bill introduced the first or second year that doesn't go anywhere will die at the end of the second session and would have to be redrafted and reintroduced in a future session. So what was introduced so far? Well, Senator Lowe reintroduced a bill that's intended to address some issues that came about from a recent Nebraska Supreme Court ruling dealing with traveling with your firearms. We'll get into the specifics of these bills later. The next bill was an anti-gun bill introduced by Senator Moorfeld. It's a red flag bill. It's intended to bypass due process. This is something that is very dangerous and can be used in a retaliatory manner, and I don't see how the senator can show how people's rights can be protected when you bypass due process. We're going to have a lot more to say about this bill as it moves forward. And finally, Senator Halloran reintroduced a facsimile weapons bill. This isn't something that normally would concern us because we're talking about criminal charges where a weapon or a facsimile weapon was used during the commission of a crime. However, we have testified on these previous bills because the language was insufficient to ensure that it wouldn't be used outside the context that it was intended. The last iteration we felt was appropriate language and so we did not oppose the bill. We really didn't take a position on it, but we paid very close attention to ensure that it didn't morph. That bill didn't go anywhere, so it got reintroduced. I haven't read all of the language to see how it compares to last year's bill, but we will be taking a very close look at everything, analyzing it, tearing it apart, and reporting on our findings. So my plan is to give you a weekly update as to what's going on with the legislature related to firearms rights. What can you do? Well, first, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Share this video, our webpage, our Facebook page with your friends, your family. If you like these video updates, hit the like button. Share our mission and our contact information with your friends, your family, your co-workers that are also like-minded pro-liberty individuals. Let us know what you would like to see in future videos. If you have questions you want to have answered in a future Q&A session, please leave those questions below. Until next time, stay safe, Nebraska.